Boom, recording now. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that scary. When you just kind of jump into the water,
click the button.
It's a little cold at first, but it's refreshing. Okay, we're recording now.
Whoa. Okay. Wow.
We're live?
Guys, I don't know if we're officially live. I mean, we are recording, but
Can we go
I don't know
back?
if you guys know this, but we're going to record a podcast. All three of us. We're going to record a podcast episode together.
That's the plan
That's
today.
what we're doing right now? Oh, fuck. You know what? Actually, I got some shit to do for work. I didn't know that this was why.
Yo, actually, that reminds me. I got to answer this email.
Stop.
Oh,
boys.
dude. Allie just got... Oh, babe.
Boys.
Oh, is that Scarlett Johansson? Oh, Scar. Yo,
No,
Scar.
guys, this is special, okay? This is a
check her
special
out.
thing for me, okay? We planned this out. We're going to do it, okay?
All right. Well,
And you're not even supposed to be talking yet, guest, because there's supposed to be a surprise that you're even here. They don't know that you're here yet.
no one knows
But
who I am.
I do. Wow, that was a little hard. That was a little aggressive. All right. So today on the God's Plan podcast, the show where a poker player and a fitness coach have informal discussions about life,
Informal discussions about nonsense.
we are joined with a very special man.
Wait, let's introduce ourselves. I need to unveil.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm Borno. I'm the poker player.
And I am XX Pumpgassion Triceratops XX at gmail.com. Thank you.
Yeah. He's gonna be the hottest new thing.
Check out my SoundCloud. You can find the link through my OnlyFans.
All right. So today we have with us a very special man. He shreds pow. He climbs rocks. You might know him as the actual mayor of Greenwich. Our guest today is Kyle the Kid Bentley, Lyle Bentley. Welcome to the show, Kyle.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me, boys.
Hey, this air horn is just not loud enough right now.
Yeah, the air horn wasn't
Can't
coming
contain
through.
all the excitement that's
But-
going on in the studio right now.
True.
It's still solid.
It's still, noise suppression is on, so maybe we can beef up that volume post. We'll see. You'll know about it. We won't know yet, but if you're listening to this,
If you're listening to
F
this,
in the
we're in the
chat.
past right now.
yeah, I'm talking to you.
I'm telling you right now, we're in the past.
Okay,
We're not even there anymore.
I want to get into a little of this. Mayor of Greenwich, the actual mayor of Greenwich, at Mayor of Greenwich official on Twitter. Now, I'm not even quite clear on the origin story here. I've just kind of accepted. I've always just called you the mayor of Greenwich. I've just understood that that's how it is. But how, in your own words, like, how do you remember this nickname's even first beginning? How does it start?
Honestly, it's kind of a dumb story. It was the first year of Firefly, and we were obviously drinking copious amounts of alcohol. And there was a point in my life where I'd get like hammered drunk, and I'd wake up in the middle of the night and like start walking around and like doing some weird shit. And I wouldn't really remember it. But there are like multiple instances where I'd like come to in the middle of something. And I didn't actually I can't really remember doing this, but Jordan and Adam have it on video, I believe, where I like got into their tent and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? And I started like going over to Adam, and I don't think I was saying anything. I think it was just like gibberish. And I started to like try to like open up his sleeping bag, and Adam was like, yo, what are you doing, dude? And he's like, are you trying to get my sleeping bag? And I was like, yeah, I'm trying to get in your sleeping bag. And he was like, no, dude, you can't. And he like kind of like, I think he might have pushed me away or something. And I like fell back and I ripped his sleeping bag. And I looked him dead in the eye and I said, oh, so now you're the mayor of Greenwich. And so that was it. I called him the mayor of Greenwich, and then they thought it was the funniest thing. I think they ended up just having me pass out in their tent. And then I woke up the next morning and they started calling me the mayor of Greenwich, which is not a great nickname, but it stuck, and I like it.
It's a beautiful town.
Yeah, Greenwich is a beautiful
great town.
Dude, great. It's the
Very
wealthiest
prosperous
city,
too, I think.
actual wealthiest city in the state.
I believe-
I
Yeah,
know you meant
it's
it as
definitely
a
up there.
derogatory term, but I think it's high honor.
So you were like half asleep and you said this, you weren't even like fully awake.
Not only was I half asleep, I was probably still incoherently drunk. This was still like 19,
You think
right?
you were
This
just
is Firefly.
dude? We were in Dover, Delaware. You think you were just dreaming about like Greenwich, Connecticut?
So now you're the mayor of Greenwich.
I think this was like on the tail end of an acid trip. That was the first time I'd ever done acid in my life, and the last actually. I haven't done acid since.
I love how you just come out and say that, dude. I mean,
you can edit that out if you don't
That's what
want
we're
it
here
out in
for.
public.
That's what we're here for. No, you don't need to
snap.
edit that out.
No,
you don't need to edit that out.
Don't you dare edit.
Like
You
a
dare
lie.
edit a word I say.
dude, Sam Harris talked about blindfolding himself and just tripping mushrooms.
Look in his closet. His wife said, "Sam, just."
He just locked himself in his room with a blindfold on and just did a bunch of mushrooms. And this is like a full-grown man.
This is a full-grown man with a PhD.
He's a PhD in neuroscience.
There's nothing wrong with full-grown men doing mushrooms.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
It could be like Mario, where like if you're a little boy and you eat a mushroom, and then it turns you into a full-grown man real fast.
That's what people say. They say shit like that.
It's like
I don't
a
know
coming
if
of
I'm-
age almost.
I don't know how much I buy into that shit. I've only done mushrooms the one time, and acid the one time.
So
I didn't think it
yeah,
was
I
like,
mean, a lot of other little cultures or communities or whatever have it as a rite of passage for them. They don't use. I don't think they use acid, but they use some kind of plant, some kind of
ayahuasca and fucking like
peyote.
Some of them use oven mitts filled with bullet ants.
Right, right. That's
Some
a
of
thing.
them literally put on oven mitts with bullet ants woven into them and have to like hold them for 30 seconds
I don't even know
and
what's
not say a word.
Do you know what a bullet ant is, Kyle?
Do you guys? I do not know what a bullet ant is actually.
So it's like an ant with like the strongest bite. Like it's one of the highest. I think it's like some kind of bug pain index, like getting stung by a wasp or something like that. And it's like top 5 at least for most painful bite. Like
Out of any insect,
Dude.
yeah.
Angry ants are sketchy. When I was a kid, so I was born in Georgia, and I used to be afraid of ants because
Whoa, you were born in Georgia?
You were born in Georgia?
I was born in Georgia. Because my dad was in the Marine Corps. So
explains a lot.
I did a lot of bouncing around as a kid. I settled down in Connecticut when I was like 6, but I was born in Georgia. I was like kind of afraid of ants because I fucking sat in a red ant pile one time, I guess, when I was like 2 or 3, and they fucked me up.
Dude, that's kind of
like, crying. Like,
that reminds me of what happened to Bruce Wayne when he was a kid, but with bats.
Exactly. And low key, I'm the next Ant-Man. I'm calling it now. Paul Rudd's always been an idol of mine, so I'm gonna follow up and take his place once he's gone.
Yeah, Paul Rudd's actually a goofball. We had him on the show earlier, but there was like a recording issue, so we couldn't actually publish the episode.
His problem, our mic's perfect.
Yeah, understand it.
I actually have a pretty traumatizing story involving ants. I don't know, this is a little known fact about me, but do you guys know that I like never eat cotton candy?
I had no idea.
Like specifically, I have a dark past with cotton candy. I was about
dark past for such a bright, fluffy snack.
I was about maybe 5 to 7 years old, a young kid. And I think it was like some old Easter candy. I ate a little bit of cotton candy maybe a while back, but the bag was open, so air got in and it got all hardened. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to eat this. But I knew outside on my driveway, there was a little anthill. So I said, you know what? I'm going to be a good guy. I'm going to go and give the ants this giant, it was a pretty big thing of just hardened sugar, just hardened cotton candy. And I watched them over the past, I'd say 5 days or so.
Oh my God.
Like, what are you? You're 5 to 7 and the internet's not invented yet. So you give ants cotton candy and watch them. And they colonized that thing, man. They made it like their own home. And I just felt like so good. I'm like, oh my God, I gave them this food. I made them this home. Like, look what they did with it. They're so industrious. And then one night, it was a pretty cloudy night. And,
dark and stormy.
And it rained.
Yeah.
And do you know what happens to cotton candy when it rains?
It dissolves.
Soggy. It dissolves. Ants were living in that giant thing of cotton candy. That was their home that I gave them. And then as soon as it got wet, I don't know, I feel like personally responsible for every death of every ant that died in that storm.
All the lives, all those precious little ant lives.
And I've been living with that.
Fine. They're probably fine. They probably just went back down to their underground home.
Do you think, I want to get an ant expert on the podcast and try to
you
resolve these?
You got to think about it as a glass half full thing. You gave those ants a couple days of absolute bliss where their home was also their feeding grounds, and they could eat their way to build a tunnel system through their new home. Think about that. And not only that, but it's the most delicious food that they've ever had. So you gave those ants the best couple days of their life.
Thanks, Kyle.
It was like how
Thanks, Kyle.
It was like how Jack Dawson just came into Rose's life in Titanic and then just gave her such a fun couple days, but then just disappeared. Wait, no, that would be the other way around. Because the ants disappeared from... Anyways,
From
yeah,
life?
if
I'm going to find out
So,
the average
folks-
lifespan of an ant. If it's like 3 to 4 days, I'm not going to feel bad anymore. I'm going to resolve myself of that.
just anyone
Hold on,
who's
I'm gonna look it up.
listening,
I'm gonna look
anyone
it up.
who is listening right now, if you or a loved one knows a lot about ants or you're an ant expert, you could actually help us with this.
Hey, listen.
Help us figure out what ants do when their home just gets washed away in a cotton candy tsunami.
They probably find a new home. Listen, the average lifespan of a black garden ant is 15 years. That's much longer than I would have thought.
That is a lot longer.
What about red ants? Red ants matter. Their lives matter.
Let's not make this political.
I think
Dude, this is
so those ants could have been alive with me.
Yo,
in
you're talking
college.
about acid and you're not going to talk about red ants.
You're not going to talk about red ants.
I want to talk about...
Red ants matter.
You guys had some crazy ant experiences as a kid. I mean, the extent of my ant experiences was just playing ants in the pants.
I thought you were going to go with like a familial thing, like, oh, my aunt.
I got a quick stat check for you guys. Fire ants. Can I get a guess here? Let me get a guess. What do you guys think for fire ants?
Lifespan?
3 weeks.
6 to 15 months.
3 years.
That's
Yeah, they're
longer.
both on the low end, but
Interesting.
one was closer. So,
Wow.
Jeopardy.
You know what the lifespan of a red ant is when it crawls on me?
0.02.
3 years. Because I'm such a gentle being, I won't squash it. I'll just place it back into the wild.
Hold on. Actually, you know what? I lied. That was the fire ant queen. Was about 3 years. Males die a short time after they swarm and mate. Worker ants usually live 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh, that's a lot shorter.
Okay. So the queen lives longer. Long live the queen.
Long live the queen. That's where it comes
Can
from.
we go back to Georgia here, Kyle? Because this is me just finding out that you lived in Georgia. Now, they're famous for their vaginas, according to my emojis.
I have no idea.
Georgia,
What?
because they have a picture of a vagina emoji on their state, like when it welcomes you. Like their state fruit is a vagina emoji.
Dude.
Is it a butt?
The peach is a butt.
Dude, the peach is
Oh my
the
god!
peach.
So you're telling me
The peach is a vagina.
You're telling me that you ruined, dude? My joke got ruined. My whole joke got ruined. I thought it was a butt this whole time. I thought the peach emoji was a butt for years.
Is a
and
vagina.
Then, literally 3 days ago, my humble co-host tells me that it's a vagina. I know what the eggplant is. Use that one all the time.
Yeah.
I bet you do.
When I need to get eggplant
on your grinder account.
I need to
Okay,
go to the
fine.
grocery store.
Okay, so
It's
it
a
is a
butt.
butt. It is a butt.
What, if not the peach, did you think emoji was the butt?
I thought it was a piece of cake, honestly, actually. I
Oh,
thought if they
cake-
did
a
it, it
cake
would have
could
been a
work.
cake.
Cake could work.
But I'm not trying to rewrite the system right now. I just made an honest mistake. And I'm a grown-ass man.
No, and I mean, your mistakes have real-life consequences.
I know.
My joke would have came up. Okay, so for the record...
Okay, so redo it with this new knowledge then.
No. So Georgia's famous for their butts.
I still don't get it.
But they use a butt emoji as their state fruit. Anyways, Kyle, what's up? What's up, Kyle? How's Greenwich these days?
How's Grindr these days? Okay.
How's Grinder these days?
Grinders, yes.
Yeah.
Meat and cheese.
Oh, dude, good. I went to the Whole Deli in Glastonbury the other day. Shout out to the Whole Deli.
Ooh.
They work magic
Got
with
the air
bread,
horn in
cheese, and meat.
Whole Foods Deli. Wait, the Whole Foods Deli?
I'm sorry, was that?
You said the Whole Foods Deli?
No. Just Whole Deli. The Whole Deli. It's on New London Turnpike. It's right near El Pollo Guapo. Shout out to El Pollo Guapo.
Oh.
Those motherfuckers are doing some fantastic things with chicken and rice.
Unprecedented things.
Unprecedented work with their chicken.
You know
and
what?
rice.
I'm telling you, I'm probably
Adobe chicken. What are we working with?
I'm selling it short right now. No, dude, it's just fried rice with some great rotisserie chicken that you can see they have it on a spinner in there all day.
Ooh.
And then they've got a couple different rice bowls that you can get. You know, they have like fried plantains, these pickled red fucking onions. They do like a guacamole sauce and this like chipotle, like mayo or like aioli or some shit like that. Fucking fire. A couple other like veggies in there, like some corn and shit like that. I'm telling you, dude, it's hot fire. Matt introduced me to it. It's really, really good. And then there's another little deli in the same plaza, Whole Deli. So, you know, that's how the grinders are these days. No, good food.
Dude,
how's the food
on.
down in?
Before, weren't you gonna say something before we went into
we were asking about
story
Georgia
of the security guard story?
I think I was gonna ask a very like trivial question. It wasn't like a whole.
Oh, you were gonna ask a formal question about nonsense?
Yeah, it was something very small. Very small. But I did write something down that I was curious about earlier. You guys said, like, does it take an acid trip to make a man? I want to get into something just real quick. Have you guys been listening to do you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast at all?
Yeah.
I'm assuming you guys probably do. And have you heard him like talk about like mushrooms and like ayahuasca and like DMT and all this shit like that?
It's sort of become a meme nowadays, just how often he brings up these psychedelic drugs to his guests. They'll be talking about something in their specialization, and then he'll be like, "Oh, that's really interesting, man. Have you ever tried DMT?"
Dude, he did that. That meme is from like Eric Weinstein's episode. Eric Weinstein's like talking about math and shit, and he's like, "Wow, it's interesting. You ever done DMT?" And he's like, no. Like, oh, okay.
So yeah.
Yes.
What do you guys think about all that shit?
What Joe Rogan thinks about psychedelic drugs?
Well, like, yeah, kind of. And there's like a lot of feedback on people that say that they go on like this DMT journey with like the fucking shaman, and they're all like passing fucking like a DMT pipe around and shit like that. And it's like a life-changing thing for them. Dude, it scares the shit out of me.
Didn't Colorado like legalize the therapy? Or they're the first, like one of the first states that are legalizing like mushrooms for therapy for depression and
possibly
a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, I will say this. I think there is a lot of future in that technology and using psychedelic drugs for medicinal purposes. I actually have been looking into some companies.
Mushroom technology.
I'm looking into companies that do research on therapeutic ketamine.
Dude, I exploded when you told me that the first time. You're like, yeah, it looks like
synthetic ketamine.
I'm like, what the fuck? Ketamine?
I know it sounds bad. They'll have to come up with some weird fancy name for it, like
Special K. No, that's already a thing.
Chamomine tea.
Chamomine tea. Ketamine tea.
Chamomile. Yeah, I mean, just put a little K, sprinkle a little K dust. I don't know how K works.
I don't even know what it does, yeah.
What is it, a pill?
I've heard it described as it makes you a sleepy dog. And I never knew what that meant.
Until you did it.
Until I said, no. Even I was like, dude, no, I'm not trying that stuff. I'm like, why would I want to feel like a sleepy dog?
You could feel like a salty dog.
Yeah.
An old salty dog.
So
but yeah, I like what Sam Harris, who was on Joe Rogan, he's talked about psychedelics on his show, and I usually kind of agree. I tend to agree with what he has to say about the matter. I think it's pretty cool. But as far as doing it as a rite of passage, that sounds kind of terrifying, honestly. It just sounds really scary to get the way you see the world just completely rocked and completely pretty much just turned upside down.
Anyway.
Like Prince of Bel-Air, your entire worldview just rocked, flipped it, turned upside down. Yeah.
Sometimes I'd like to just take a minute and just sit right there.
Yeah, it'll change you, man. It'll change you. Just like Adam got changed into spaghetti. Kyle, were you part of that story? We had Adam on the show the other day.
Oh,
I was not there for that. I think I was in Colorado at the time, but I do know about it for sure. Allie was involved. She filled me right in.
Oh, she played a role in that?
she might have.
Ooh. That's scandalous, dude.
I don't know if she played a role. I think she was just there. And she was like, this is fucked up. Your friends just got Adam blackout, throw up drunk, and now they're putting clothes on him. And he's like, clearly not okay. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like my friends.
To be fair,
They're putting khakis and
to
red
be
turtlenecks.
fair, Allie watched and she didn't do anything to stop it. So she's now as complicit as we are.
This is fucked up. They're not just putting like jeans on him. They're putting khakis and a red turtleneck.
She's like, Kyle, they're bringing out the khakis.
Well,
Something bad's happening.
I'd say as a group, that's like the best thing we ever actually planned and executed as a team. There's only like one or two hiccups, but it went off pretty much without a hitch.
that's both pathetic and hilarious.
Shout out to
No,
STFG.
we planned some good stuff, dude. Those trips to the Firefly Music Festival were well executed. Somehow we all made it back alive. That's impressive.
Yeah,
That's something
yeah.
to
The
choose
fact that we
about.
even orchestrated that is shocking. We're
So,
incredibly bad at planning things as a group.
Here's
Just gonna throw that out there.
this is something that I've always wondered about you, Kyle. So I know you said earlier how you kind of like walked around and woke up half awake and whatever and just did weird shit in the night. Well, there was one night at Firefly Music Festival where I'm just sleeping in my car or something and I hear the Amazing Grace being played on bagpipes at full volume on a portable stereo, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I get out of my car and I look and I just see you and our other friend literally standing up. It's 2 a.m, just standing up, staring at the moon, saluting the moon with Amazing Grace on bagpipes being played. Kyle, please fucking explain that to me.
That's so funny.
I have no idea. I'm guessing that was with Brendan.
Yeah, it was with Brendan.
The bagpipe version of Amazing Grace is we actually call it American Grace.
American
So I
Grace.
Like a huge dick about that because I guarantee you what I was doing there was playing it out of my car stereo, which if you guys remember, I had that system in there that was like bumping. That thing was loud as fuck.
Dude, our neighbors ended up leaving like a day early.
The neighbors hated us.
Was this year one?
Hated us.
I think
Yeah,
it was year one.
this is the first year. Yep.
We were
For
supposed to
sure.
be greenhorns. We were supposed to be so like novice and inexperienced, but we ended up teaching everyone else how it was done.
I don't know if we taught them that. We taught them how to obnoxiously party for sure. They realized they weren't ready for what we were about to bring to the table.
What about the funnel and the Snapchats with the funnel?
That was bad. Yeah, that was a lot. I've had to funnel like 9 beers in a row.
We are lucky we lived, dude. We are lucky.
Rest in peace to our friend Adam.
I think. Shout out to Adam.
All right.
Shout out to Adam.
He was a good man.
He was a
That's a
master
great
at that
story.
funnel.
Did you guys tell that story?
No, I'd like to check with him before telling that story.
Yeah.
We didn't actually talk.
Is your
Let's
friend
tell
all
that-
right?
let's tell the
Yeah,
intro
he's
to
fine.
it.
He's just sleeping over there.
Well, we did talk about Firefly and how we went to the 21 Pilots concert together.
That was great. That was a great time.
We
That was
literally
still to this day the best show I've ever seen in my life, I think.
was
live.
it, dude? That makes me so happy to hear.
Yeah, we were so close and had such a good time, and like the people around were chill.
Dude, I had
There's like a lot of
I was trying so hard. I was like trying to convince you guys to go to this show, and because the group like split up, and it was just the 3 of us, like you and Adam and me, and we like went there at a kind of like a last minute decision, and we ended up getting front row. We were just. Do you remember passing around the sunscreen bottle that was full of rum?
Yes, I do. The sunscreen bottle you said? Sorry, I just got a text for work.
The sunscreen, the disguised flask, which was really just a sunscreen bottle full of rum.
Yeah,
And then, the Skrillex, dude. We kept pretending that it was gonna be Skrillex.
the Imagine Skrillex concert. Kids are getting mad about that. They're like, fuck up.
Yeah.
People,
but yeah, that's the extent of Firefly that we talked about, really. We didn't get too much into it.
Well, I'm going to tell a little bit about Adam, just the kind of person that Adam is.
You're going to put him on blast, man?
I'm gonna put him not fully on blast, but just tell the little intro to this story. We had neighbors who were like 40 years old.
Bit, not completely blast it.
Just a little bit.
Adam, I like the fuse. I'm not gonna blast
him. I like this.
Adam has an iron gullet. And the kid can pound liquor. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. And we had neighbors who were like 40 years old. And they came over because we were drinking heavily at like 9 a.m. This is like on day 2. And they were like, we thought you guys were going hard last night. Like, you're still going? And we were like, yeah. And Adam had a bottle of vodka in his hand. And they're like, you're not drinking that, are you? And he was like, yeah, I'm fucking drinking this. I can funnel this right now. And they're like, no. Don't do that. And he's like, I will. I'll funnel this right now. They were like, no.
You don't think I'll do it?
And the kid did it. He funneled probably like, I don't know. He might have added beer to it too. But it was like, he funneled a majority vodka and just shot that shit down. And they were not only impressed, but also disgusted in us as well. And that's when they realized that they had to take us under their wing.
Dude, and then they ended up just partying with us.
Yeah, this is just a great story how that all unfolded.
Yeah.
They thought we were going to die, dude. They were like cooking full meals for us. So
what these guys got? Peanut butter and Natty.
Oh yeah, that one guy came over.
Peanut butter and Natty.
Yeah, dude, we had a foldable table, and there was just dozens of cans of Natty.
Like a jar of peanut
natural ice. The most freaking cheapest shitty beer you can have.
I think that my favorite thing in Firefly ever was
hey
sweetheart.
Yeah.
Natty? You
like Natty? We go around asking, hey, sweetheart, you like Natty?
Dude, and then the trashiest girls would just come up to our campsite and then just try to start mooching Natty.
Dude, one came over and we're like, you like Natty? And they're like, yeah. And we're like, no, you don't. Get out of our campsite. Nobody likes Natty. Get them away from our campsite.
The best one ever was when we asked this one girl, like, hey, you like Natty? And she was like, I think you asked me that yesterday. Like, yeah.
We only have like 1 or 2 different sayings.
You asked me that yesterday.
That was,
It was
what
bad.
A time.
Very unoriginal.
Now I kind of want to go back to a music festival.
We would end up being those old guys watching out for other kids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would do it way different.
Honor, yeah.
But we showed them how to have fun, though. On the last day, like, their wives were getting pissed at them because they were we were teaching them all these drinking games and shit.
No. It was the husbands getting pissed at the wives.
It was the other way around, dude. It was the other way around.
Because they were hanging on us.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was just the 1 or 2 husbands getting pissed at the wives, because then there was that one couple who was cool, like the dude who was
the older version of Matt.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, Matt.
So yeah, that was the music festival Firefly in Dover, Delaware.
That shit was fun.
We had probably 9 of us. Yeah.
Good times.
And then we did it 3 years with pretty much the majority of the group, and then on the 4th year, I believe, everybody thought it'd be a good idea to bring their girlfriends, and maybe it was fun. I can't imagine it would be the same kind of chaos. But I know we ended up. So Brendan and I, were you? Yeah, you were there for when we drove without telling anybody, and then we brought bottles of champagne and wore Guy Fawkes masks, and just raided the campsite and started spraying everyone with these bottles of champagne. We got ourselves yelled at by everyone's girlfriend that day. They came up to us. I think one or two of them was just like, I kind of thought what you did was funny, but just like everybody had just showered because it was like 10 in the morning and we all waited in line like an hour to take a shower.
Like you guys drove all the way down there to surprise them for a day.
Yeah. We drove 6 fucking hours to surprise these guys, and then all we ended up doing was just kicking the hornet's nest and like made all their girlfriends pissed at them.
Dude, I gotta be honest, that would be freaking cracking up. That would be wild. You guys take off the masks and it's like you and Brendan. I'd be like, what?
Yo, yeah, like I think like 2 people were excited to see us. Like Kyle, do you remember that?
I wasn't there. I didn't go. You guys are trying to get me in on the celebration bandwagon.
The spook plan. I
didn't want to go.
That's another good and well executed plan by a group.
Yeah, no, that worked.
Big group members.
Dude,
that worked.
That is very controversial. If it was well executed on your part, but the actual you guys could have done the surprise much better without spraying champagne on everyone. Where did that idea come from? Like, what was the point?
I know who that idea came from.
No, like, dude, in previous years, that was just how we showered. Literally, would just take champagne.
No.
Yeah, that's way worse than dressing up Adam as spaghetti.
Way worse.
Way worse.
So that's Firefly Music Festival. It's chaos. It's rowdy.
Use code Firefly2020 at checkout to potentially see if there's a promo code. Once again, Firefly2020 at firefly.com/tickets.
Now, okay, you like the bagpipes. You like American Grace, which is Amazing Grace on bagpipes. And I know a man, bagpipes are Scottish, I know a man with Scottish heritage. You're part of a 1,000-year rivalry. Your family is from an old, long rivalry with a clan called the McKinnon clan. And now it's been going on for ages. This is an age-old rivalry. And our friend Duncan, who's part of the McKinnon clan, actually asked a question. He wants to know, this is a quote, what did your despicable English ancestors do to his noble, pure Irish and Scottish ancestors long, long ago?
Potentially a loaded question, but let's see how we act.
We starved them. We withheld food and created a famine.
Stannis,
their land. We raped their women. And we beat them in baseball debates as well. I regret all of it except for the baseball debate. Before it even had a name, they were
destroyed them.
We beat them in baseball debates all the time.
Man. Man. I don't know how they still survive with such shame. And that's why they hate you today. They still hate you to this day.
Oh, we still hate each other. It's mutual. The Bentleys and the McKinnons, way back.
Yeah, they'll just never get along.
No, well, sometimes. It's like keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer kind of thing. I love Duncan. Okay. I hang out with Duncan. I spend time with his family. I've spent, many nights under his roof. But the day's going to come.
It's all
that's learning.
It's all just for appearances.
I'm studying. I'm watching.
I know his family. I know his dogs.
I know what kind of hats his dogs wear.
I know what private island they're hiding on.
I know what kind of bucket hat their dogs wear.
All right, so we mentioned a lot of American things because you're an all-American man, Kyle Bentley. And one thing I know about you is that you know a good American burger.
Ooh.
I like to think so. I
love
meat.
He cooks a good American burger himself.
He is the mayor. I mean, you're the profound, I would say, chef, cook expert in the group. Jordan would like to highly debate that, I'm sure, but I formally think that it's you.
Jordan's great. Jordan's a great cook too. I don't want to knock Jordan. Jordan cooks mean food, and I've tasted it. But it is what it is. Jordan can feel how he feels. I don't care either way. I think I cook a mean food. Food as well.
Fierce burger last time.
So what are people doing wrong that sets your burgers apart? So what's a layman doing that you look at and you're like, dude, that's totally wrong?
I don't know. I mean, burgers are so easy. I don't know how you could fuck them up. I would, if there's one thing, I've cooked thousands of burgers in my life. And I don't think I make them all that much better than anyone else, but I do appreciate the high praise, guys. But I did one time watch like a Gordon Ramsay thing about what he did with his burgers. And the two things that I agree with this, I think it's the most important, are well seasoning the meat before you cook it. And that, just to taste whatever. And then also toasting the buns. People don't toast their buns. You're fucking up. All the juices, they're like just sopping up your bread and making it kind of nasty. If you toast that shit, it just kind of like absorbs it a little bit better.
Are you listening, everyone? Toast those buns.
Hashtag toast your buns.
Toast your buns.
And you know what you really should just do is eat a hot dog because they're fucking way better anyway. All those nitrates and bullshit in there. Yeah, eat that shit.
You're a hot dog guy over a hamburger guy, really?
Hot dogs might be my favorite food of all time. Yep. It's sad to say, but the diversity of a hot dog, it's fantastic. Is it a sandwich? Is it not a sandwich?
The diversity of a hot dog.
Diversity. I'd rather speak on the diversity of hot dogs.
It's very diverse.
You can chop it up. You can put it in mac and cheese. You can split it down the middle and cook it well done. Have a split dog burnt. You can have a kraut dog, you can have a chili dog, you can have a cheese dog, you can have a chili cheese dog, you can have a mozzarella onion dog, you can have a mork dog, just add ketchup to that.
I taught you what a mork dog was.
A mork? You did. And I'm ashamed. That I didn't know that.
A mork? It's a good one. Yo, you're
call it different at Harry's. I won't. But anyway, go ahead.
What do you call it? What do you call it at Harry's? Like just a regular or something?
It's kind of lame. I feel like we should have been calling him mork dogs all along. But we'll just say basic 4, which is lame, dude.
Yeah, that's something.
No, but because everything else, like if it's mustard relish, it's a Mr. Dog. It's mustard onion.
Ooh, that's creative, yeah.
Yeah,
a Mo Dog, Mr. Dog.
Mr. Dog.
Who knew?
Yeah. So
what's one with nothing on it? Like a naked dog?
Plain dog.
Plain dog. What's a hot dog? Or is there nothing on the menu that's called a hot dog?
It's a sandwich.
So what is a hot dog?
It's just called a sandwich.
It's a hot dog.
It's because you keep looking under the wrong thing. You should be looking into the sandwich part of the menu.
It's a taco.
It's a hot. So it's a hot dog.
If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's a taco, but in the northern hemisphere, it's just a hot dog.
So I don't know about that. I don't think that's legit. I don't think that flies.
If you're on the equator, though.
I don't think anyone looks at, especially not, people who have indigenously made tacos, right? Growing up eating tacos, they're not going to look at a hot dog and be like, yeah, that's definitely a fucking taco. They're going to be like, no, that's a disgrace to a taco. That's not a taco. What is that?
I'm going to perform a psychological experiment, and I'm just going to raise a kid, everything normal, but then I'm just going to teach him that. Normal. I'm going to teach him that hot dogs are actually tacos. He's just going to grow up thinking that a hot dog is a taco.
What is everything normal to you?
What is a normal kid?
What is a normal kid to you?
Just a good old kid, man.
It's a good old kid.
Ties his shoes. He toasts his buns.
Toasts his buns.
So Kyle, you like IPA, right? Like you, big IPA guy.
Is that the Irish mob? I thought that was Duncan's thing.
Irish Republican Army.
Irish Republican Army.
I am a beer fan. I'm an IPA guy. I will say this though, I feel like they I've had to kind of cut back on them. It's just
so now you only do two 6-packs a day.
I still love IPAs, but it's probably just too much info. But if I drink a couple IPAs, I'm usually eating some shitty food, and then I just pay for it the next day, and I feel like shit. My stomach's all fucked up, and I'm just like, oh.
Dude, they call that William Wallace's revenge.
It is. It is William Wallace's revenge. It
feels like a Prince Ali Papa's revenge because it's Indian Pale Ale. Ali Papa instead of Montezuma.
It jumped into my stomach and is just beating up my inside.
Ali Papa's revenge is the day after you just crush a bunch of IPAs and your stomach is just hating you.
And eat cow meat, eat some burgers.
Okay. IPAs kind of confuse me. I'm not too big on them, but next time I'm in the store, what should I get?
And is it the hops?
Is it the hops? What does it?
I think it is the hops. It's definitely the kind of.
What's your favorite IPA?
I mean, I go through rotations. And honestly, I don't know if I have one favorite necessarily. I've had a lot of great IPAs. Like I feel like a lot of the best ones are up from Vermont, Maine, even Massachusetts has some good ones. We have some good ones in Connecticut too.
Wait, they're not all from India?
Sounds like are
They're
any
not
of them
all
from India?
They're not all from India. I would say honestly though, guys, especially for the listeners out there, and this is old news for sure, but anything from Treehouse Brewing Company in the Sturbridge, Mass area, I think it's actually Charlton, Mass.
Shout out.
Or great condemnation.
Great stuff.
Treehouse.
Treehouse.
Good beer.
About an hour from Glastonbury.
Clean
So it's a drive from you guys, but it's nice. They get some food trucks up there and stuff too, and they have a nice outdoor setting and gets busy as fuck. I mean, sometimes you'll have to wait 45 minutes to get beer there. There's like a line of fucking 100 people. And so
high demand.
Yeah, definitely plan on, if you're going up there, you're going to want to get like, fucking at least,
Treehouse.
12 beers. People get like 100 fucking things of beer, dude, and like 100 cans of beer, and they'll carry it out in dollies because it's like too much to fucking, it's like way too heavy.
Shit.
Yeah, they stock up. This place is super popular. People drive for like hours to get there. They stock up with like 120 beers.
This is
bring it home. No, it's in the Sturbridge, Mass area.
Oh, okay.
So for the listeners, what's the name of that place again?
Treehouse Brewing Company. Yeah, and then this is not anyone that's into the beer scene. Yeah, shout out to Treehouse. Anyone that's into the beer scene knows about this for sure, most likely, But for any girlfriends looking to get your boyfriend a treat or Father's Day, just happened. Too fucking late.
So it's just around the corner next year.
Maybe next year. It's great. It's good gift.
So what separates a Natty Light from an IPA?
Definitely the hops.
All right, cool. Myth busted.
There are way less puns. Dude, there are so many good puns for Natty. Like, if you want your friend to just toss you a Natty Ice, you just go, hey, yo, can you Natapult me that? Wait, was that on a commercial?
Dude, there was so many. I saw like a Natty Knight. Like a dude who just made a night costume out of 30 racks of Natty Ice.
Yeah, Natty.
Natty was a big portion of
Natty Daddy.
Natty Daddies.
You guys want to hear something? I'm
more of a hard seltzer guy.
Switch gears real quick.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, what's up?
Tell me what you think about this. So at 7:45, Allie was like, yo, calling a pizza. I'm going to be leaving soon. So I did. And now it's an hour later, and Allie is still not home with that pizza. She was going to pick it up on the way home. I thought she was like leaving the hospital. What do you think the people in the restaurant are thinking right now? They haven't called me.
What, dude? That's because you didn't order that pizza from Tony's Pizza Shop. Tony's Pizza Shop. Located in Greenwich, Connecticut.
You can just order a pizza and just pick it up whenever you want. We'll hold it a week. We'll hold it 2 weeks.
Maybe we give you the pizza.
No, that's a little spooky.
All right. Well, interesting. That's the answer. Okay.
So she was supposed to pick it up, though?
Do pizza people usually call and say, like, hey, you didn't pick up your pie? What's going on?
Right? That's what I thought. But apparently you guys are the experts. So you tell me, Tony.
Does Harry's do that? Oh, well, Tony's is a different business model.
Well, we use brick ovens.
Yeah, we're a big brick oven type restaurant.
3 brick ovens.
I think Giovanni's in Glastonbury does the same, actually.
Oh, well, how about you go order a pizza from Giovanni's? Huh?
I did.
Oh, yeah, where is it? Where's your pie? Because I'll tell you, Tony's got a red one sitting right here if you want it. We can freaking email it to you.
Tony's got the pie.
Tony's, we got the pie.
We also run a law firm at Tony's Pizza Shop in the back office. That's a different story.
I got
a question for you.
And scene.
Okay. Kyle, what was it like to live with a nurse during COVID?
Let's talk about man's feelings.
Is this a hot take? Is this a informal life discussion?
This is an informal life discussion.
So, do you want me to answer seriously, or do you want me to fuck around?
No, seriously answer.
I'm curious. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
It wasn't that crazy. But it was crazy for Allie. The one thing I will say, so like my life didn't really change all that much. outside of everyone else's, was probably the same changes. Everyone just quarantined. I know you guys quarantined the fuck out of your lives for a couple of months. I did the same thing, right? Just not so much worried, right, that I would potentially get it, but about spreading it or
Just
whatever.
doing your part, yeah.
But Allie, witnessed it firsthand for sure. She's had to body bag 22 people since COVID started. So,
Yeah. I remember her
it's real. It's alive. It's out there. Be careful. Wash your hands still. Wear masks when you're out. Don't stop living your life, but do your thing. And if you if you're one of the people that is, susceptible to severe symptoms from COVID, if you're overweight, you have respiratory issues, you're elderly, then take every precaution. Stop going outside.
Eat more broccoli.
That's a real PSA broccoli. Right there. I think that's good information to spread.
That's what should spread.
Yeah.
That's the tea the kids are saying these days.
Spread that. Oh, that should go viral. Where'd you learn that from?
From you. You fucking told me that.
Oh, yeah.
Spill the tea?
It's spill the tea. Or, you can just say, what's the tea? Or something like that.
I say...
I used it at Harry's place the other day, Dylan.
Uncle Adam.
It was a hit. The kids loved it. They think I'm privy to, little lingo, and I'm a fucking man. And I'm like,
you're hip now, right?
Yeah, I guess so. They thought it was funny.
What kind of tea are you drinking?
What kind of tea am I drinking right now? I'm drinking Twinings herbal tea. This is it's like a promotion of good sleep tea. It's like mint, something else, a little bit of honey and some almond milk. And
you added milk to yours? That's pretty good.
I do a little almond milk, yeah. Big almond milk guy these days.
Speaking of tea.
So I'm a big, Borno is a big tea guy, kind of like Uncle Iroh. If you haven't seen Avatar, check it out. But no, Borno's a big tea guy, and we have a little segment on the show called What's Under Borno's Tea Bag. Kyle, are you curious what's under Borno? It's where I read a little saying that's on the tag that comes on my tea bag.
I'm very curious.
Very curious what's under.
Oh, what's under that thing?
Okay, well, today we have impression is for the now. Trust is for the future. All right, how woke are we feeling? Are we feeling woke after that?
Can I get it one more time?
Impression is for the now. Trust is for the future.
Not that woke.
I'm beaming with wokeness, dude.
I feel the same. I just feel the same as I did.
That's because I took all the wokeness. I have all the wokeness. I can give you some if you want it.
I mean, that's communism. That's your wokeness. You don't want to just take your wokeness, dude.
I don't want your communist
woke. Yeah, I don't want your commie wokeness. I'm trying to redistribute woke.
Seize the means of wokeness.
Seize the means of wokeduction.
You have...
Oh, dude.
Comrade. Dude, you have a segment, too.
Oh, I don't need it. I don't need to press Kyle. Kyle's being honest. I don't really have anything to press Kyle on.
Hit the segment.
You want me to hit you with Dylan's Detective Corner?
You want to go at him with a Dylan's Detective
Corner? You want to go a few rounds in Dylan's Detective Corner?
Do you think you can handle a Dylan's Detective Corner, Kyle? Dylan is undefeated in the
You've been really, really cool lately. Do you want to take this turn?
We can ramp up the pressure.
Ooh, all right. Do I get a pretense, or am I just getting right into it?
Well, I'll tell you. Do you get a pretense when a hurricane or tornado strikes?
So yes.
Here's the pretense.
A hurricane sometimes.
Here's the pretense you'll get. Ready? Okay, Kyle. A hot dog is a taco. Okay?
Change his mind.
Literally, a hot dog is a taco. So there's a framework. We need a framework for classifying these types of food. Right? Okay. Because you have toast, you have sandwiches, and then what is a burger a sandwich? And then it all gets super confusing. So I believe I read it's from the New York Times, possibly. It's called the cube theory of food. So if you
before you even get into this, can I just quickly try to debunk you by saying that the definition of a taco is a traditional Mexican dish consisting of a small hand-sized corn or wheat tortilla filled with topped with a filling.
So
where in the hot dog that you get from the grocery store or that you buy from a restaurant is it served in a small hand-sized corn or wheat tortilla.
So you're speaking about taco, the food.
That is what a taco is. A taco is a form of food, correct?
Okay, so when I say taco, what I mean is an item of food with starches on 3 sides.
So that's a made-up definition of something.
It's from the cube theory of food, and it helps sort of classify different food items by the amount and the location of their starches. It's publicized. I can send you the link.
It's completely made up. Yeah,
I need to
look
it up. It's the cube theory of food.
It's clearly a troll article, though. I'm sure. Before even seeing it, I can guarantee that this is a troll article trying to argue semantics of this very thing. Of the whole, is a hot dog a sandwich a thing?
Dude, he's
isn't
a tacologist.
Isn't that whole argument semantics anyway? Why not just have a definitive answer?
I ate 6 tacos last night.
Proud of you.
And I have probably 7 hot dogs a week because I'm a fat fuck. And I can tell you, there is a definitive difference between the two of them. So
you can truthfully say I have 13 hot dogs in the past 2 days.
I'm debunking it. And you know what else? I'm putting an F in the chat because of it. F in the chat.
Here. How do we explain?
Can you send me this article? He's getting.
I'll actually text it to you. It's mad funny.
It literally is a formal taxonomy, though, and there needs to be a way of classifying these things. And people think, people think, there's no practical reason why we would have to really get down to the nitty gritty and define what a sandwich and what a hot dog is. But actually, there have been court cases. There was one in Boston, Massachusetts. I don't have the link to it right now. But how would you explain this? Because they actually ruled that a hot dog was indeed a sandwich because of certain zoning issues where 2 stores that sold sandwiches couldn't be because they were there was like some competitive market rule in place for that particular block.
It was something for like taxing purposes, right? That
they couldn't have 2 restaurants or 2 vendors that sold sandwiches within a certain amount of blocks. So they ruled a hot dog as a sandwich in that court case. I don't have the name of it, but I do have the link. I could get you the link.
To some extent, with classifications on taxes in restaurants, that's just how things go. Yeah, like all beverages are going to be classified as beverages unless they're alcoholic beverages. But that doesn't mean that.
So they took
a bottle of water is the same as a Coca-Cola.
They stole this man's job because a hot dog was a sandwich. Bernie Sanders literally came up to this guy's. He was a hot dog vendor. He had a hot dog stand. Bernie Sanders went up to it and kicked it. He kicked it over, and all the hot dogs flew out all over the street. And cars were driving on top of the hot dogs, and they were getting smushed, and he almost caused an accident. And Bernie Sanders just took all the relish and grabbed it in a giant handful, and then just ran away with it.
Mork dog. Yeah, I know a friend that saw the dude that heard about it too. So it happened. Did you get the message I sent you, Kyle? I did. They also think that a steak is a salad. Yeah, because it doesn't have anything, so steak's a salad. Dumbest thing ever. It was the Washington Post, not the New York Times. I apologize for that. A steak is a salad? Yeah.
Is this an anonymous article? Did they not even have the balls to put their... Oh, no. Mora Jutkiss.
I would watch out if I were you, Mora.
You upset a very, very powerful mayor.
He has a very special set of skills.
No, but she might get a mean message. It's not going to be that mean. It's going to just say, this is garbage.
We're going to link this in the description, this article as well, from Mora Jutkiss.
No, please don't. I don't want to get her.
She's not even the actual creator of it. It was some dude on Reddit, I think.
Oh, fuck you, dude. You got to give me the person who created that before I start calling her. Dude, it says it. It's like... She's verified on Twitter, first of all. So the fact that she doesn't give a single flying fuck what I think, that's for sure. Most likely. But
she apparently doesn't give a fuck about what anybody else thinks because she's just throwing out all these wild theories.
I'm sure... yeah, dude, literally. Features culture, food, art. Well, you don't know anything about food, I'll tell you that much.
Well, it's basing food off of geometry.
Yeah, there are 6 planes there are 6 different planes in the shape of a cube, and whichever plane the starch is on.
The pie, though.
There are 8 categories of food, each defined by the placement of a starch. Use a cube as your guideline to where the bread or starch goes, and it will determine what a food truly is and whether it is a sandwich. Starch on the bottom, it's toast. Starch on the top and bottom, it's not connected, it's a sandwich.
It's the dumbest argument ever, honestly. But
And it just got more defined. Welcome to formal nonsense.
This is how, this is the
I'm
formal
XX
nonsense.
Pumpgassion triceratopsxx@gmail.com.
I mean, this is how things, dude, this is how progress is made. These are the conversations that need to happen. I know they're not necessarily fun, they're not necessarily exciting, but this is how progress is made.
They don't even need to happen necessarily, but this is how things develop.
you know what? They don't even need to happen.
I'm sure you would love for this conversation to have never happened, but someone had to do it.
No, I'm glad it did. I'm glad it did at the end of the day. Sometimes, it keeps me up at night, so it feels good to just get that off my chest when I'm laying there just thinking, how the fuck can people think that a hot dog is a taco?
Just
It
waking
really
up,
irks me.
waking up in a cold sweat. Like, whew, thought a hot dog was a taco for a second.
No. I never mix up that. I'm not in danger.
Okay,
I haven't had enough severe head trauma yet in my life to start mixing up those things.
What if you wrap an actual, instead of using a hot dog bun, you use a tortilla with flour?
I would say, yeah, absolutely. You could have a hot dog taco, just like you can have a shrimp taco or a carne asada taco or a chicken taco.
So wait a second. Then what the hell heck's a hot dog? Because it can be made with pork, it can be made with chicken, it can be made with mystery meat. Yeah, but it's also a hot dog.
A hot dog is either beef or pork. Always. It's not. You don't get chicken hot dogs. It's just a chicken sausage. You never see chicken hot dogs.
What about a turkey dog?
If I put a sausage in a hot dog bun, is that a hot dog?
But turkey dogs are just like, not really. Not really the same thing. So, Dylan, a hot dog, the hot dog itself, okay, is the actual
the hot dog
of meat,
as such,
right? You could eat a hot dog on its own with maybe a little bit of mustard and ketchup, and that's still a hot dog. And then you could even, and I know it sounds crazy, but you could put a little piece of bread on it with that mustard and ketchup. You could cut up that hot dog and put it in some mac and cheese, and then it's a fucking hot dog in mac and cheese. Or you could cut up your hot dog and you can put it in a taco, and it's still a hot dog, but it's in a taco. Do you see? So you can't take steak and then just call it a salad and have it be a salad, because it's just fucking wrong.
What's the difference between a sausage and a hot dog?
You can't spin it any other way. Like a steak is a steak. It's a cow.
I feel I know that we've been on this for a while, and if you're listening to
what
this,
the hell are sausage, peppers, and onions anyway?
If you're still listening to this, you are a trooper.
Is this supposed to be on a bun?
Yeah, and scene.
So, okay, if you're still listening to this,
thank you.
You are a trooper, and we should probably be wrapping this up pretty soon. So, Kyle, this is kind of the way we've been ending the episodes recently. We just ask the guest if there's anything cool they want to say or any kind of cool quote that they want to share with anyone who might be listening. So, got anything for the folks, Kyle?
No, not really. I feel like I said my piece. I was just calling out the UFC. I gave shout outs to multiple restaurants around me. I'm good. Shout out to Bugs. It's good to see Bugs.
Yeah, so fuck you.
Shout out to
Bugs.
Shout out to, fuck Duncan.
Okay.
Shout out to the God's Plan podcast for having me on. Good to be here.
Make sure.
And shout out to the boys. It's gonna be good to see the boys hopefully this weekend. Maybe we can get together, hang out, watch these fights.
Well, I know that I would love that. And maybe some tax cuts in the future for the town of Greenwich.
Some tax cuts, yeah. Speaking of, I gotta do my taxes. Thanks for reminding me.
Well, think about it.
All right, folks. Well, we love you. Have a good night. If you want to listen to older episodes, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, whatever. Grindr. That's for if you want to be part of the plan. Grindr,
SoundCloud,
Twitter,
for
Tumblr, Facebook group at God's Plan Pod.
You can probably just Google images. If you just probably just Google, something will come up too. So
at God's Plan Pod. It's a ton of fun. We got an Instagram.
There's tons of ways you can find us.
Okay.
You found us if you're listening to this.
Yeah, reach out. Send us an email.
Podcast
at godsplanpod@gmail.com. All right, folks. Well, enjoy. Love you. Good night. And
Be a part of the plan.